Hi, we're Nate and Emily Hughes. I am not there tonight, but really wanted to be, and so we thought we'd record this video to tell our story together. The story really starts back decades ago when both of us as singles, God had laid on our hearts to adopt independently. And then once we met and got married early on in our relationship, realizing that this was something we both desired and longed to do. And then in God's providence, we ended up with two biological boys and decided eventually, like, okay, the time's right for us to enter into this adoption journey. And so in April of 2016, we started doing our classes, home studies, that whole long journey, writing our match letters, going through all of that, and then eventually being fully ready and prepared and in the match book at the end of November of last year. And then that began the next phase of the journey of waiting, right, and longing and praying for our eventual child. And as the months go by and you pass the full year mark and you start coming up on a year and a half of since you began the process, you begin longing more and more, like, God, when are you going to provide us with this child we've been praying for? And that day came in August.
Mm-hmm. We'd been praying for our birth mom and our baby who was out there somewhere, potentially. If our birth mom was pregnant or not yet, we just didn't know, but we prayed with our boys, and they specifically in the process prayed for a girl, which is the side note. But so on August 14th, which was a Monday, I was working and doing hair, and
I was in a meeting.
Nate was in a meeting. My client actually had just said to me minutes before I got a phone call, she had said, how's the adoption process going? And I answered typically, it's going fine. Like, we're just waiting and being patient and enjoying our boys, and they're getting bigger. And so that was kind of our answer over and over and over again. But a few minutes later, I got a phone call, missed phone call, and then we got a simultaneous text message. And it said that there was a situation that our pregnancy worker wanted to talk with us about, and there was a birth mom who wanted to probably meet us that night. And so after getting some details and finding out that baby was a girl and 3 weeks old already, we were just thrilled and so excited that we got to grab our boys and go over and meet Pa and Mila that night. And we were so grateful that Pa wanted our boys to come to that meeting, and it was so great.
Yeah, even that night, independently in conversations with both Titus and Drexler, they both had said, can we bring Pa home? And that was really something special for us, because we had prayed that we'd be able to have a good relationship with our birth mom. And so the next morning, as customary, giving the night to pray and think, we confirmed that we wanted to move forward, and Pa did as well. And then began the long 48-hour waiting process, which, again, God knew what he was doing in giving us such a short window that we had to wait. And so Thursday morning came, and we met with Pa, and our friend Berta was also there. And when we got the match call from Danielle, she had mentioned that you have a mutual friend, and we ended up finding out later that a friend of ours from our previous church had been a part of the resettlement process with Pa and her family when they resettled as refugees from Thailand. And so it's just cool to see that bigger story that was being woven together. A woman who meant a lot to both Emily and I, but also to Pa and her family, was kind of being knit into this story. So Berta was there as well.
And she has been there to kind of help us understand the Karen refugees who have come from Thailand, and just to give us that extra insight to learn about Pa and learn about this little bumpkin right here.
Yeah. And so that Thursday, we spent a couple hours with Pa and Mila and Berta and some others and Lynette, and just really got to enjoy that time together. And then took Mila home and realized we hadn't eaten that so far that day. So we ran by, got some fast food, and went home just to spend some time with, actually just the three of us initially.
Yeah, we just sat down and held her and just kept staring at each other and staring at her, and just in complete shock that 4 days before we had no idea who she or he would be and how old they would be. And it's pretty rare to get a call that the baby is there and ready to go, and it was so bizarre and so fast, but we just felt the love of the Lord, that he would care for us in that way. He knew exactly what we wanted, and just knew it would bring us so much joy. We've been so blessed to parent her, and we've been so honored to know Pa, and to not only just have a birth mom that we can be in contact with, but who we love and who we desire to bring into our family as well. We feel like we have another family member, and she's just strong and beautiful, and she's an amazing birth mom, and we're just really lucky to have Living Hope and the connection with Christian Family Care Agency. And through the whole process, I know that Living Hope and CFCA and us as the Hughes family, our prayer has been to, let birth moms make the right choice, whether that's to parent or to place for adoption, and both are really hard sometimes. And so I'm just really thankful that Pa had her friend Berta and had Living Hope and all of those women and men to walk through that process with her, and to bring her to this place now too.
Yeah, so we just want to say thank you to all of you for the different roles you've played in our story. We're absolutely grateful for God putting you into our paths, and the role you've played in us having our daughter. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you.